Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode with me. I'm Ozone, and we are on the VaultCraft SMP. I decided to sit out here on my patio. It's getting to be springtime here in the northern hemisphere, so yeah, the weather's beautiful. And behind me, of course, you see the beautiful hub. We haven't been doing any additions to the hub recently because, well, it's pretty well done. We've got a lot of space that hasn't been utilized yet, so one of these days maybe we'll figure out what to do with all the extra space. So today I'll be taking a new mod in order to make a brand new farm, revisiting a create design in order to make another new farm, and then we go back to the quarry that I showed in the last episode and talk about how it's gone from here. Oh, and I also get another backpack upgrade, but this one is a little disappointing, honestly. And last up, we need to have a little heart-to-heart about where this series is going, but we'll worry about that a little later. Now in the last video, I teased that I'm going to be taking a new mod. Yep, something to do with routers. More specifically, a modular routers. And I've certainly got enough knowledge stars. I've collected 20 now knowledge stars. And because I've taken dark utilities already, modular routers is going to take a smooth 8 knowledge stars. But that should be no problem at all. So let's eat them up. Yum, 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 yum. 8 points going into modular routers. Now that went awfully fast. Why, oh why, do I care about modular routers? First of all, I've never really used them, and there's a whole lot that I don't really know about them, so this will be a great opportunity to learn. But we do have a very specific farm need, and I'm told that modular routers is the only way to make it happen. And so, yep, that's what I like to do. Let's make some farms. So first, let's talk about what modular routers actually are. And honestly, when I wanted to know more about them, I went and found Hellfire Mage's video on the topic. He uses modular routers quite a bit and likes it quite a bit and does a really good job of explaining how it works. But in a sense, modular routers are a modular system for programming things, essentially. You make a router block and you add different modules to it that control the behavior, and you can do a lot of different things with it. So there really is only one block, this router block. And then there's a whole lot of upgrades and modules and things like that that you can do to control the behavior. So let's start with a couple of these modular routers. And they are pretty darn expensive, using a lot of Larimar here plus a blank, which is even more Larimar. Now I do have a lot of Larimar in here, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem. So we'll start off with some of these blank modules. Let's get a couple of them and turn those into a couple routers. We should only need 2 for right now, initially. And I'm also going to need a couple of these modules in order to actually make it work. First, I'm going to need this placer module. And next, I'm going to need a breaker module. The placer module basically takes a dispenser to place something, which makes a lot of sense. And the breaker module uses a pickaxe in order to break something. Furthermore, if you put an enchantment on this pickaxe, you'll get that enchantment by the module. So in particular, I need Silk Touch. But fortunately, it looks like you can use any kind, and I don't have to have a diamond or anything like that. And so by using a placer module and then a breaker module all within the same router, it will essentially place a block and then break it. There's also pusher and puller modules which will move it in and out of inventory. So let me get some stuff together and I'll start talking about this farm that we need. So I'm up here in the main storage room of the hub, where you can see all of the altars for all of the players on the server. And as usual, it's the altar that drives the need for a farm. Which one? Well, specifically this guy right here, dead coral. Now, dead coral is kind of a pain in order to get, and automation is really tricky for it because you have to get live coral and place it down and then let it die, and then pick it back up after it's dead. Now, obviously, this particular altar we were able to complete, but it really highlighted a shortcoming in our supplies here in the hub. And additionally, it used up pretty much all the ones that we had. Now, since then, we've gone out to the desert mountain area where I put the quarry because there's a whole bunch of dead coral all over the grounds, all around in that area where the quarry is, and we harvested all of that pretty easily. But this was everything there was there, and this isn't going to last forever. We need bigger supplies because eventually those altars are going to need more and more of them. Now down here in the farming floor of the hub, we've got a whole bunch of corals all set up here. Well, we used to have a whole bunch more botany pots all pumping out corals, But now they've pretty much filled up these drawers, and we've moved the botany pots over to something else. But thanks to botany pots, we can make a whole bunch of corals. Now we just need a way to place them down and then pick them back up once they've died. And this is where modular routers is going to be key. As far as I'm aware, there isn't any other way to make this happen. Now I'm also hoping to be able to bulk produce snowballs as well. This is where we go when we need snowballs, and we get enough of them, but it's still a manual process. Again, I like to automate everything, so I'm going to try to set up something over here with the snowman to, again, automate the production of snowballs. So I've got a little setup here that I'm trying to make work with a drawer with some coral on one side, a router in the middle, and a drawer with some dead coral on the other. And what I want the router to do is place the coral here and wait for it to die, like that, and then mine it up and then put it into the drawer. Maybe easier said than done, but I'm going to give it a try. So first, I've got a puller module that I'm going to tie to this drawer. I'm not sure that worked. I'm not sure it will work with a drawer. Oh, yep, there we go. All right, I tied the puller module to the drawer, so I should be able to just put that puller module in here. Oh, looky there. It's actually drawing them in. So the puller module is working. The placer module, I have to pick the face that I want the placing to happen. So we'll place it right here in front, put the placer module in, and okay, there it goes. It's placed it out. And if I mine it up manually, it'll place another one. So this will help, but it's not quite enough. We need more. And that's where the breaker module comes in. So again, I want to break on the front side of the block, and I want to whitelist the dead corals. So it's only going to break it when it's a dead coral. We'll put this guy in here, and it broke it. Nice. Very nice. You see, it's waiting until it's dead, and then it breaks it. Waits until it's dead, and then it breaks it. The last step is the sender module. So let's put the sender module onto that drawer and put the sender module in there. And let me pick up all this stuff. So is that going to work now? No, it's not quite going to work because this inventory is full. I got to figure out how to make it not pull any more over because it needs this to go back into it. Or, hey, I could do it another way. I've got another router here. Oh, this could work. This could work. So we'll take these back. We'll put another router right here. And now this router will do the breaking, and this router will do the placing. It should be able to be done with one router, but this is what I know to do. So we're going to start with this. So we'll put the breaker module in there, and then then the sender module. Oh, and look at that. Look at that. We are getting more and more dead coral in the drawer. It's working. It's working pretty darn well. It's a little messy, and it's a little slow, but there are upgrades for that too. But proof of concept, it works. Now, when I did a search on the Discord channel, this was the answer that people gave, and it is super simple. There is so much that you can do with this. I'm going to have a lot of fun playing around with these routers and figuring out more things that can be done. Mixing them with Create somehow? Yeah, I think that sounds like an interesting challenge indeed. All right, well, this is working. I moved it out of the middle of the floor and put it over here so these drawers could be used and accessed by people. And yeah, it's working beautifully. We'll be able to have 1,000+ dead coral in no time at all, because this area pretty much stays always loaded. That's pretty cool. I'm liking that a lot. And just for transparency's sake, one of the really cool things about the routers here is they do not need any power. And that's good because we don't have any power in the hub right here. I'd have to go to the industrial district. But yeah, pretty cool. Very interesting mod, and I'm going to have a lot of fun playing with it. Now, when it comes to snowballs, I think it should be even easier. I think we just need to place the one router right here. Can I do that? How about over here? There we go. Just place one router facing into that snow layer, and then we just select the front and put the breaker into the router, and that should, I think, break the snow block. It's kind of not doing it. Let's look at it again. We're doing the front. That is the front, yes. Okay, that is the front. I wonder if it's because it's not the right tool, but I think it's got to be a pickaxe on that card. I wonder if I could make a card with a shovel and that might be better? I don't know. I don't know, but it's not working, which is a little annoying. I had hoped that that should work. Maybe I need to put a whitelist on this. Let's try that. Let's try getting snowballs and put that on the whitelist. And it's really cool that you can just drag it over by the JEI. Now, I only put efficiency on this pickaxe. When I made this breaker module, I did not put silk touch on here because I don't want the snow layers. We want the snow balls. So let's see if that works. No. Well, it seemed like a good idea. I'm disappointed by it. For those of you that know more about the modular routers, maybe you can tell me how to do this. I would appreciate it. Oh well, it was a good try anyway. Well, the snowball thing has come back to kind of haunt me. I need snowballs right here, and we've got another person over here that needs a lot of snowballs, and we had another one over here that just recently needed a lot of snowballs. And I don't really feel like we have that many snowballs left in the system. It's enough. You know, these kinds of numbers aren't that hard to get, but as usual, I'm looking for an automated solution. So I went back to the modular routers thing, and I believe that this activator module might be able to do the job. So let's head on down to our snowman and see if we can get it to start collecting some snowballs. So again, I'm going to start by putting the router right here, and we're going to put this activator module in here along with a shovel. And is that going to do anything? Oh, come on. That seems like that should work. It looks like it says it's... Oh. I got to make the module... I got to set the module face. There we go. To the front face. Nope. Well, that's another fail for modular routers. They can do a right click, but apparently not a left click. I really don't know, and I'm a little surprised. I still feel like I'm missing something. But I certainly have figured out a way to do it using Create. Create seems to be the answer to all of my farming problems. So I guess we'll just make a snowball farm with Create instead. And so I'm back over here in the Create area with another little area set up down below. And this is where I'm going to make the snowball farm, because Create has a ton of ways of interacting with blocks. And as you might expect, the plow is one thing that will pick up and break the snow layers into snowballs. Now, I typically think of the plow as being used with farmland because it will plow the fields too. I totally had forgotten about the plow being able to do other things, but it says it'll break blocks that don't have a full hitbox, and snow layers certainly fit the bill here. So we'll go ahead and place a few plows on this thing. Make sure that it's turning the right direction, which of course it is not. And once again, check to make sure it's heading in the right direction. Now we just need a nice source of snow layers, which is of course going to come from snow golems. And that's why I have this really tall wall around the area, because this thing's going to push those snow golems around, and we want to make sure they don't get out. So let's drop one here. Another one here. Another one here. There we go. And yeah, you can see it's pushing things around and breaking them into some snowballs. Currently in here, I have 16 and 10. So when this comes back around, let's see how many we got. Wow, we got 4 stacks out of that revolution. It's a simple little farm, but the simple farms are the best. Now you notice that I have a whole bunch of these sea lanterns all around. As a matter of fact, I made that arm that pushes all the plows around out of sea lanterns. And the reason I did that is because when I stop this, I want those sea lanterns to melt the snow layers. Because when you stop and start, that arm has a tendency to grab a whole bunch of blocks around it that are nearby, and I want to make sure that there aren't any blocks around it that are nearby. I want those snow layers to all be melted while this thing is turned off, so that when I do turn it on, well, it just starts working and I don't have to do any maintenance. I really like how it just keeps pushing those snow golems around, and those snow golems just keep making snow layers over and over and over again. It's nice. And like I said, maybe not the most efficient, but man, certainly fast enough for what we need. Well, look at that, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 11 stacks. Picked up another 4 stacks on that revolution. This thing is going to be filled up in no time. I'm going to have to get some upgrades. But this has certainly been a whole lot easier for me to understand and a whole lot easier to create than the modular routers. Honestly, I'm a little disappointed that I couldn't make it happen with modular routers, and I still feel like I'm missing something obvious, but oh well, we're getting the job done, and that's what matters. Now, in the last episode, I showed off the quarry that I'd made, and I liked it so much, I'd had to make another one. This one is over here in a Yellowstone area, because I wanted all the calcite. But sadly, the calcite really doesn't go that deep. I can see we're going a long way down here, and there's not a lot of calcite except right here at the very top. So, yes, I got some, but it wasn't as much as I had hoped. Then there's also all this water, which I pretty much ignored because, like I said, the quarry works just fine around water. But it has a bit of a problem when there's both water and lava. So if you're going to undertake a project like this, I do recommend that you clear out the water on the surface, because when it gets down to the bottom, it kind of causes a lot of problems. Well, let me show you what I mean. So what I mean is this. We hit a lava pocket, and the contraption went all the way through the lava, but the lava spilled out on top, hit the flowing water that came down here, and now we got obsidian. And now I cannot retract the contraption. So I've got to come down here and clear out the obsidian, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, having a little bit of obsidian is okay, but it just kind of means that we got to stop the mining operation in order to clear things out. And apparently I made a glow squid farm while doing this also. I might actually do something about it, but probably not. It's still interesting. I also added a really nice sorting system to it. So all of these brass funnels here stay here, and when the contraption comes back and docks with them, then the chests start unloading out onto this conveyor belt, which then gets run down this side and feeds into all of the drawers along here. So really, this thing can be unloaded in just a few seconds, honestly, and be ready to go back out and do more quarrying. So when I bring this back, we can see firsthand just how effective this unloading operation is. Look at all those blocks popping off there. They're going super fast. And getting all sorted into the things here, anything that's left over goes into this chest, which is, apparently my cobblestone is full. And then anything else, once this chest is full, is just going to get flung off here, which is all the cobblestone and pretty much everything else. Okay, well, lesson learned here is make sure your drawers have enough capacity to handle the unloading of your quarry, or you're going to have a big old pile of mess over here to deal with. And interesting, I got some mossy cobble, so I think that means that we've hit a dungeon spawner down there. I want to go take a look at that. Aha, there it is. I may have taken out a chest, not really sure. But let's light it up and make sure that it's all safe. And so since the quarries were going so good in the overworld, I decided to make one here in the nether too. Yep, we get lots and lots of netherrack, which, is easy to mine, but also kind of a pain to get a bunch of. And in addition, depending on the biome, you get a whole bunch of blackstone and soul sand and all the other good stuff, right? Which also makes for a really big, deep hole and open space, which ghasts just love to spawn in. So it's a little dangerous. But like I said, you get all kinds of good materials. Even ancient debris. Now, Hoodie's been running this thing like crazy because he needs a bunch of ancient debris. It's not been that effective for it, quite honestly, but it is nice and easy. I built this one all the way up near the nether roof because I wanted to maximize the materials that we get. But overall, it still works really well, even in the nether. When you can avoid the ghasts, that is. The really hard part about these quarries is knowing where to put them, and I still don't think I have all the answers. This is a hot scrubland, and we have previously found and mined out a fair bit of diorite from this area. And diorite is kind of the one thing that I've been trying to get at all of these times. Well, diorite, calcite, and tuff are some of the things that I've been trying to get from the mining operations. And so what I've found is that what you see on the surface is not necessarily what you're going to get underneath. In fact, a lot of times, it's definitely not what you're going to get underneath. So when you go to try to find a place to put your quarry, I really don't have any great advice on how to tell you where to find the things that you're looking for. I really didn't find any good wikis saying this biome has these kinds of blocks or that biome has these kinds of blocks. It's just going to take some experimentation and digging a bunch of holes, which, honestly, I'm happy to do. Hey, good news everybody. I just got word from Dave that he made the big backpack for me. I had all the materials all set aside right here in this shulker box, with the exception of the backpack that I wear, of course, because you need the small backpack in order to make the big backpack. But he just went ahead and made a whole big backpack, so I gotta go get it and then get all these materials to him to reimburse him for the cost. You know, I hardly ever show it, but we've got these mailboxes on the server too. They're really convenient. And in the mailbox here is, ooh, sweet, my big backpack. Looks like somebody also sent me some leggings, which, ooh, man, those look sweet indeed. Wow. Yeah, thank you very much. My current leggings are one armor less, but ooh, that's still very, very nice. I'll happily take that. But the big backpack is definitely an important step here. Look at all that space. Let's load up my memory savings. What? I get only one more row of space? Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And my small backpack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I thought the big backpack would give me a lot more space. One extra row? Well, honestly, that doesn't seem very worth it. Now, it does give me a lot more upgrade space, which can definitely be useful and worth it, but whew, an echo plug for one row of space in my backpack. I don't know that I like that. I mean, I've done it. It's definitely better than what I got, but I feel a little ripped off, honestly. Oh well, it is what it is, and now I have the best backpack that we can get. Well, now that we're done with all the hard work and making farms and stuff, I want to see what you guys all thought about the Mastermind game show. I had a lot of fun with it, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching that too. Did you catch my preview community post leading up to it? I felt like that was a pretty cool way to generate some hype and bring some attention to it. But please let me know, did you catch the community posts and did you like them? And if you haven't yet, please go watch that episode with me and Hellfire Mage on the Mastermind game show. The only thing that I'm not happy about is my parkour performance and, well, ladder climbing skills. But anyway, it was a lot of fun, and I really appreciate Hellfire Mage for inviting me to be on board. But now it's time to talk about the elephant in the room, if you will. I guess the future of the series. As you can tell, things have slowed down quite a bit on this server. A lot of people that started playing on the server with us just aren't playing anymore. In fact, there's about only 4 or 5 of us anymore. And this is indicative of the entire Vault Hunter space. Most creators are branching off and doing something different. And there's a lot of people that are just outright quitting right now. So yeah, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be finding something else to do because there's only so many farms you can do. And I think we're pretty well at that point where all the farms that we need have been made. At least until Iskall and crew changes things. Again. So let me know what you think down below. Is there a game that you think I would really enjoy or that you think would be really fun to see me play? I'm really thinking about Minecraft Legends and maybe some others. I like any kind of RPG type of games too, and I've played some of those here and there, but never made videos about it. So maybe something that's an RPG themed game as well. But of course, any other Minecraft mod packs recommendations would be welcomed as well. I know there's a lot out there, and honestly, I haven't been keeping up with all the news. Seems like a lot of people are going to play like all the mods or something like that, but I don't really know, and honestly, I'm trying to be open to anything. But the bottom line is, we need to change things up around here, and I hope you'll stick with me as I go through these changes. But that's it for now. I really hope that you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. We topped 500 a few weeks ago, and I'm really looking forward to the next milestone. But for now, remember to just be excellent to each other, and I'm out.